had early on decided to follow in my father's path. Nat Tiffen was a machinist who partnered with two of his brothers, Saul and Leo, to create what became the Tiffen Company. What set Nat's filters apart was their extreme durability in a variety of harsh environments and the degree of precision with which the colors and effects could be consistently produced. I started early, at age 6, sweeping floors in the factory. Built a darkroom at home with my father at age 11. Later, after I graduated NYU with a chemical engineering degree, Nat taught me how his filter glass was made, and I soon managed the department. Every filter I created in the more than 30 years I was at Tiffen came about in its own way. Sometimes a cinematographer had a problem that a filter could solve. Other times, I had come up with a new way to alter qualities of light, and cinematographers found uses for it. Typically, I was dealing with controlling color, luminance, contrast, sharpness, and highlight flare. Having created the original low-contrast filters used by John Alcott in Kubrick's Barry Lyndon in 1975, 13 years later I came upon a way to reduce contrast without blooming highlights at all. This had never been done before, and when I was approached by Stephen Poster, ASC, with a situation that this new filter seemed perfect for, I sent him a test set. Stephen came back to me with not one, but 3 uses for this filter, which became the Ultra Contrast filter series. In 2004, I left Tiffen after it was no longer owned by my family. 5 years later, after beginning to turn my glassworking abilities toward making art glass sculpture, I responded to a request to get back into making filters again. This time it was to make it easier for cinematographers to create anamorphic streaks, whether or not they used anamorphic lenses. After more than 3 years of making and marketing my streak filters worldwide, I sold the process to Schneider Optics, the U.S. division of Schneider Kreuznach, the prominent German lens manufacturer, in 2012, and joined them as vice president of the motion picture and television filter division. Now, Schneider Optics had begun making their own filter glass designed specifically for the motion picture and television market in the mid-1990s. CEO Dwight Lindsay saw the market potential and determined to find a way to differentiate his new product from the competition, including me. He enlisted the aid of Stuart Singer, a world-class lens designer who brought aboard Bob Zupka and Ron Engvoldsen. Under Stuart's supervision, Bob handled the creation of new optical effects, and Ron came up with the means to reliably manufacture them. The team laid a strong foundation for their new filter line on 3 key factors. First was the use of what is known as water-white glass. Glass with a low iron content is more colorless, not having the pale green tint of glass that was typically used in the MPTV market by others, including me. Second was the addition of a gloss black epoxy seal around the glass edge of square and rectangular filters. This provided protection against chips and cracks, as well as eliminating light entering the filter edge and the potential for flare. Third, Schneider pioneered the use of the most polarization-efficient polarizer, the TruePol, in the MPTV market. This approach paved the way for Schneider to be taken seriously in the professional community. They followed up with a series of new effects that have since come into prominence in the market. And when I joined the company, my anamorphic streak effect filters became the new Schneider TrueStreak filter series.